gentlemen. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing? It's your boy, of course, Lafon, here today to talk with you. We're going to have ourselves a good day today. First off, shout out to one of my boys out there in the crew. They hooked your boy up and got your boy a Faygo. A nice little nostalgic little treat for myself, you know. Cotton candy Faygo, my absolute favorite if you didn't know. Michigan man, and Faygo is a local delicacy, right? But, you know, speaking about buying stuff, I have a bunch of different subjects tonight to talk about with you guys. And, you know, to start with, speaking about buying things, right, and making purchases, did you guys see that failure of a festival, the Fire Festival, that's up for sale currently? That's right. I didn't see the price tag exactly, so I could be just, you know, pulling a number out of my ass, because that's what I'm doing, I'm pulling a number out of my ass. But for the measly price of $30 million, you could own Fire Festival. That's not a joke. That's actually happening. Somebody's selling the Fire Festival shit. Like, how the fuck do you do that? How do you... By the way, I gotta itch my forehead real quick. Whew. I tell you, being the duct tape lad superhero is not easy, okay? That being said. So who here wants to take up a dumpster fire and try to turn it into something good? Because, I mean, you could buy at Fire Festival. And I feel like Fire Festival, you know, you buy that thing out, it's really not going to be hard to really top its original festival, you know? Or it's part 2, or it's part 3. Did it have a part 4? I don't think it was that successful. I think it failed pretty hard. Okay. Number 1, Faygo Cotton Candy has got to be the greatest fucking soda on earth. So good, so sweet, so tasty. And number 2, that's not the only purchase that's in the news as of recently. Did you guys see that Netflix is in the talks about buying Star Wars from Disney? Holy shit, was my exact thinking. Star Wars becoming a Netflix property? So instead of Leia being able to kick it with Jasmine, she'd be at the bar drinking with, like, Dexter and his crew. I mean, I ain't against it, okay? I'm not against it. Itch my head real quick.
Here's Negan donated $3.50. Please get our yay from season 4. He really wanted to meet you.
And I wanted to meet him too. I had a couple of bits I was going to do with REA. First off, thank you. And if you guys are wondering what the hell that is our TTS. It is a text-to-speech program that if people donate to it using a special link, well, that bad boy plays your message over the thing. That being said, it's $1 and TTS are currently active. Oh, my bad. That being said, yeah, no, I'm totally down to, like, I don't know, one of these days, like, fucking, maybe we'll fucking hop onto a game or something, even if we're not even live, you know, fucking, I don't know, I'm upset, you know, because in season 4, like I said, you know, the other day, right, they were supposed to have me on, and that very night they were going to have me on, that's when I got shut down. And I'm telling you, man, it's all because I was on my way. I gotta put that, like, out of my sight. I'm the type of guy where if I'm sitting here with a can of pop, it's just gonna get drank right up. If I don't, like, put it out of my sight. And I'll admit, with this mask on, it does do that. It does help, you know, cut your peripherals down pretty well. But something that kind of makes me upset is, like, how the fuck are you gonna do that to one of the greatest shows on the internet? And I gotta be careful, right, because I get a little excited and I tap shit a lot. I get excited and animated, so I gotta be careful not to slam down the table so much, right? I gotta be careful with that. That being said, how can you do that to, like, what is hands down the greatest show on the planet, right? desk is getting in the way. We're going to make it work. Somehow, Adam West fucking made it work. And he had like zero fucking neck movement. Like, I'm Batman. I had zero movement. I didn't move my neck for shit. To which, if you guys think the Batman costumes had no neck movement, brother, you have never seen the Heisei era Godzilla films. Brother, that motherfucker could not move his head side to side for shit. For shit. That being said, it's interesting, you know? Did you know there's a lot of people out there these days that seem completely lost, right? Like they've, again, I gotta make sure I'm not so much because that picks up on the mic. And, you know, I got a bad habit of that. But that being said, something else that crossed my mind recently is, have you guys seen these, like, to be a man camps that a lot of people hold, right? And they're like these, it's like what we talked about yesterday where we're making jokes on Ian's expense about starting a fucking crash course in how to not become a successful person. Excuse me. Whew. Well, I found more of these weird-ass fucking classes. And now there are these to be a man style classes, but they're father and son classes. Yeah, now if you're a rich asshole and you got a kid, you can drop double the money to basically have a guy yell in your face to go fuck yourself, make you work out till you feel like you need to go to the hospital, drop you in a bath full of ice, and then send you on your way home. It's all 15 hours and that's it. Look, Cap and Tape Lad just has to ask, right? What fucking idiots are continuing to put money in these fuckers' pockets, man? By the way, if you guys want to make a suggestion for a topic we talk about, you know, TTS is only $1. We do have a stream link for that as well, so keep it on for that. That being said, yeah, no, that kind of surprises me that that's still kind of a surviving thing that is happening these days. That there is these camps that still make these very how should I put it? You know, how should I put it? They make very vast, very I'm trying to make sure I use the right wording right, because I'm the kind of guy where it's not uncommon for me to fuck up and use completely wrong wording, right? So, let's just say this, right? The fucking world's crazy. I lost my train of thought. We ain't gonna fuck around and try to find our way back there, you know? But what I will say is this, right? We do have a little someone that we're planning to hopefully bring as a guest soon. And, you know, maybe sometime during the stream, I'll try to, you know, give him a ring on Discord. But a good friend of mine, a common appearance on the YouTube, and, you know, when he's around on the Twitch. And, well, I just got to ask, you know, do you guys possibly, by chance, by the hand of God, or by whatever curiosity happens to bestow about a guy named Cthulhu, want to see Robert come on a show like this? Because we want to see him out. I'd love to bring him on, because I think y'all would love Robert, because he is a fucking character and a half, man. Let me tell you something, man. I remember back in the day when we first met, we were just little fucking babies. I guess I can't remember it exactly, but we've known each other since we were literally babies, man. We've known each other forever, man. He's my oldest running friend. He is literally that ride or die type of homie. It's like my buddies, Nick and B, you know. ride or die type of homies, people that, you know, if you were to pass away, you know, they would be the ones carrying the casket. You know, I used to say, I got no one. Nah, I got people in my corner. Good people, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, speaking about good people, sometimes we need to
Ratchet Drake donated $1. Hi, Fatty, it's me, other Fatty Rachel.
Hey, how's it going, Fatty Rachel? How's it going? How we doing tonight? How we doing? It's good to see the other fatty here tonight. Apparently there's a lot of fatties out there in the world these days. Apparently a lot of people have adopted my moniker. Apparently we have someone in the Call of Duty scene that adopted my moniker, you know? It's fucking funny. I love it, though. I love it. I love having such positivity. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to bring up another subject here. Let me pull it up here. There was another thing I wanted to talk about that had me interested in a while ago. Where is it? Right here. Okay. This is going to be a fun subject for us to go through. Get your tea or popcorn or whatever it is the fuck you like to enjoy because, dude, you guys are going to love this subject. You ready? I wish I had a straw. Much better, I think. Either way, for those of you who lived underneath a rock, right, I just want to ask you guys a very important question.
Ratchet Drake donated $1. You look fabulous.
Do I now? Well, this ain't even my final form, Rachel. This ain't even my final. And I bet you that's just the AI saying Rachel, but I'm just having some fun with it, you know? So we all know it's Rachel. But look, Rachel, that ain't even my final form, you know? That ain't even. Well, I don't want to throw it over there and land it on the lights, but.
Here's Negan has just tipped $3. REA's in your chat.
Is Aria in here tonight? Hold up. Is he? Is Aria here tonight? Hold up. Aria, yo, how's it going? Hold up.
User not found donated $1. Topic: No dog dang client list. JJJJJJ Carrot vertical bar.
Oh my god, no, oh my god. So that's actually exactly what we were about to talk about. First off, Aria, if you're there, hi. And yo, thanks for making season 4 interesting to watch. Not gonna lie, it was between, when I was tuning in, right, it was usually between the crazy antics of Rachel and you, man. You were funnier than shit. By the way, Tom Kenny reached out to me and said hi, by the way. That being said, moving on to our beautiful TTS there. If you didn't know, TTS is active. It's only $1. Links as always will be in the chat. That being said, the Epstein list, yeah, so, for those of you who lived under a rock, right, who don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, he's this giant fucking monster. And I'm a giant fucking monster, okay? Piece of shit, okay? Owned an island, did some fucked up shit, got locked up, and according to official records, took some Zoloft and went to sleep, right? That's how we'll put it, just to censor ourselves, right? They've been sitting on this list for a while. A list of names of people who have visited this island of this person. And they've been teasing this list for almost, 2 years now, I want to say? And it has come out today that they have said that there is no fucking list. Sorry about the bang there, guys. I know you guys got annoyed with it last time. A lot of you guys were saying some shit. But, I think I know why they're not releasing the list. And I think you guys are going to be surprised by the reason. And I think, honestly, it's because iDubbbz and Anissa are both on that list. And not just iDubbbz and Anissa. I feel like Hassan's on that list. And Frogan and all their crew. You know what I'm saying? But look, speaking of list, right? Let's talk about a better list. Something that isn't like a fucking Cosby of a topic to have to go over. It's bullshit, man. We don't have to deal with Epstein no more, right? He's gone, but his list is apparently gone too, even though it's supposed to be out there. That being said, let's move on to something better, something more positive, you know what I'm saying? And let's just talk about, something dumb, something that I'm a little bit more interested in, right? Because, let's be honest, we've all read about Epstein's list. But what about the Diddy list? P. Diddy, Sherlock Holmes Diddy. Diddy done do it, Diddy done did it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll call it the items list, too. He's kind of hanging with both of them at the time. You know what I'm saying? That being said, look. Besides the fact of talking about all these, lists out there and shit, let's change to a different type of list. And I'm going to talk about what are probably my top 5 favorite dog breeds. And I know why you're asking why turn to that. Well, it just happens to be what I decided to jump to on the spur of the moment, right? So number 5, it's got to be beagles. Adorable, cute, tiny, perfect. Number 4, wiener dogs. They're fucking hilarious, adorable, perfect. Next up, American bulldogs. Adorable, tiny but chunky, very hardy dogs. Number 2 has got to be Labradors, and number 1, Saint Bernard, baby. But look, okay, look. We got to talk about something important, all right? Because I am on one list. I'm on Kanye's list, Obviously, Dave Blunt's is able to get me on, you know what I'm saying? But look, enough about, lists. Enough with all this talk about, crazy people that are running this country and shit like that. Let's move on to something fun. And I got another topic here I want to talk about. Something that, by the way, before I get on the show every day, right, I'm literally going online looking at different shit that's happening in the, in the news feed. And I just kind of make a little list of shit that I want to talk about, right? So, let's talk about the fact that, recently Kodak Black received the key to the city, and I'm going to say this wrong, but Pompano Beach, Florida. I'm surprised that we still have these key to the city type of things. I thought that was ended in like the 1950s. I guess no. You still got to keep a lock and key on the city, right? At this point, it's got to hold like no power, right? There's no fucking lock in the world that you can walk up with that key and go insert it and get any shit out of it done. Like jack shit. And if I was him, man, I was like, oh, motherfucker, you trying to honor me with this shit, man? Fucking give me the deed to the city, motherfucker. I can buy it out from underneath it right fucking now, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Give me the town. Don't waste the town's taxes on a fucking key, Oh. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. If I owned my own town, man. If I owned my own town, you know what I would do? Well, let's start with something simple, right? You have to start by establishing your name. You have to start by showing people that you are who you are, right? So, to start with, you've got to start by renaming a street after yourself. Or name it after your political party. Fuck, sometimes people do that. But at the end of the day, you have to have symbolism to your name, to your face. Right? Then, once you've taken over, people can never forget it. Their people will forever have their homes and businesses on your name, living on your dime for the rest of your fucking life and death. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? As we're going on to the next big thing here I want to talk about, all right? Because again, I pull these topic ups all over the day, right? And I think the one I want to go over right now is, it's a little something that you guys might, maybe you know about this, maybe you don't, right? Because not every one of us is a fucking gamer. But I myself, right, I enjoy a bit of Call of Duty, right? I enjoy playing some Warzone when it fucking works. Part of me wants to get my hands on Black Ops 6 because I've seen recently some clips with the hostage taking. And I'm going to be honest, right? The clips with the hostage taking, that shit, that right there, that's fucking funny, man. That's some shit that reminds me of the Modern Warfare 2 days. I love it. I absolutely enjoy it. It's funnier than fuck sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I might try to get my hands on Black Ops 6, you know what I'm saying? If, you know what I'm saying? That being said, just as a little reminder to everyone that if you have a topic you want me to cover on this show, dropping $1 for a TTS is the easiest way to get us to know it and do it. Trust me, it's well worth it, you know what I'm saying? By the way, can we talk about fucking Faygo for a second and how it's just like one of the best fucking things to come out of Michigan? I bet you guys didn't know Michigan has 2 different soda brands that are big. That's right, we have 2. We have Faygo, and then we have a classic for anyone who gets sick, right? If you happen to get ill at some point, right? Vernors. Vernors. V-E-R-N-E-R. Vernors. It's good shit. I'm telling you. It's good shit. Now, what else to talk about? What else? Let me look into this real quick. Because again, like I said, I take down these fucking notes. Just because that's the thing, right? Oh, yeah, as I was talking about Call of Duty, right? Recently they put in the Beavis and Butthead skins, right? Those Beavis and Butthead skins are, you know, I've seen some photos, right? I don't usually buy the skins. I like them. I think they're pretty cool, right? I think it's funny to give them the little kick in the dick fucking execution, you know. Some people don't like it. Like, a buddy of mine doesn't like it because, like, he thinks the art style clashes, right? And I'm just going to be honest. I had to tell it to him like this, right? This ain't our generation's Call of Duty. And they're just going to throw around and shit in like this. So you kind of just have to look at it as a model itself. How does the model look itself? Does it look good? Oh, it's a good model. Okay, you're buying a model for the game, you know? Sadly, that's what Call of Duty's become. It's becoming more and more like a paid Garry's mod. And you know what else is kind of crazy like Garry's mod, right? Another thing that kind of open, Wild West type of feel. That's our TTSs. They're only $1. They're simple to use. And you can basically say whatever the fuck you want at the end of the day. Obviously, we're not just going to let you be a hateful piece of shit, but, you know, say what you want. I tried. Fuck yeah! I tried. I'm just not strong enough to do that yet. But I will be one day. I will be one day. Hey, Trin. Hey, bud. Hey. Hey there. How are you, bud? Sorry, guys. I get distracted by puppies easily. Oh, hey there, buddy. How you doing? How you doing, bud? How you doing, buddy? Hey, buddy. It's so kind of you to come visit. Yeah. Yeah. Hey there, Rico. Oh, whoa. What'd you do to my hands? You did this. You always had a problem with me, Rico. Oh, shit. Oh, I got tackle attacked. I'm getting tackle attacked. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Whoa. Oh, it's adorable, but I'm getting tackle attacked. I'm getting tackle attacked by 2 groundlets. Ah, shit. Oh, I He's got fucking snot on. Fuck. Oh. What? Ow. This motherfucker keeps using buck attack. Who, me? Who? Thank you, Trinity, for being... Hey. Enough, Rico, please. That's my pants. Rico. That's my pants. I need those for the show. No, Rico, no. Whew. I know. I need those for the show, Rico. I need my pants for the show. Holy shit. I almost had to relive high school again. Freshman year. Oh. Freaking senior football team, man. Ugh. We're alive, though. We're alive. We are ash catching. The Pokémons cannot keep us down. Excuse me. Oof. Oh, actually, there's another thing I wanted to talk about, right? So, speaking of Pokemon, did you guys see that recently Simon fucking Cowell spent a couple of grand at like a Pokemon card convention? Let me repeat that. Simon fucking Cowell. You know, the guy who acts like a living cancer for a fucking personality when it comes to being a musical judge? By the way, love you, Simon. You're a fucking amazing guy. A great type of guy to witness being an asshole and shit. But, you are straight up an asshole. That's all I'm going to say. Right? You're definitely not a fucking Garry Timothy type of guy. You're more like Paul from season 4. You're not Timothy, you're an asshole. But you're a good, professional asshole. We need assholes like you in this world. You know what's crazy? I'd have never thought of him being into Pokemon. But speaking on that, you know, on Pokemon cards in general, right? There's another Pokemon card story that came out recently. Recently, there was a card collector, right? A guy who collects Pokemon cards. Took a little cheap dollar Pokemon card. It was Poplio, right? Just a random Pokemon. And took it to the Pope and had it signed by the fucking Pope. I'm sorry, what? And you know what's funny? You wanna know why he chose that specific Pokemon's card? Because the spelling of Poplio makes it almost look like it's saying Poplio. So he has a Poplio, technically Poplio, signed by the fucking Pope. Holy shit, my friend. That being said, if I were gonna have a Pope signed card, I would maybe want a Mew, or maybe an Arceus. You know what I'm saying? I would not want the Pope signing a Poplio, though. At least if it is a joke, at least it's a good joke card. You know what I'm saying? So moving on from that, right? Moving on from that and Pokemon in general, right? Let me open another one of the stuff. Again, I have a bunch of subjects here that I've been writing these down before the show, right? Usually like 5-6 hours for the show. I'm spending time just going through everything, coming up with some good jokes and ideas, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight we got some good ones. Oh, here's a really good one, right? So if you're like me and you hate a lot of modern fads, right? Things that take over and they make a shit ton of money out of nowhere for no fucking reason. By the way, how are you acting all this cute and adorable when earlier you were literally trying to rip my motherfucking shorts off like a motherfucking madhound from cartoons, huh? That being said, Katy Perry, right? Katy Perry had a fan offer her one of those stupid Labubu dolls. You guys know what Labubus, right? You know what those little Labubu dolls are, right? They're these little fucking dolls. They look like old school porcelain dolls, right? But they're supposed to look like the fucking where the Wild Thing characters are. And they're like $100 for the cheapest model. And everyone's just going fucking nuts. Like it's fucking clean oxygen, right? Which it's not. It's just fucking industrialized bullshit. Well, a fan tried to offer one to Katy Perry, and Katy Perry slapped that shit out of their hands. You know your product is shit when one of the most plastic artists in the universe slaps your shit away. You know it's bad. And I'm gonna be honest, these Labubu's look ugly and disgusting as shit. These are things that we would have fucking made fun of growing up in the antique store. If we were walking through the antique store with our parents, we would have been like, oh, those must be from some like stupid little fucking storytime book collection or something. We'd have made fucking jokes and jokes and jokes. And now we're sitting here sucking these things off like they're our goddamn overlords for popularity and for a couple of clicks and clout. Yes, here we go. Yes. Now you like Labubu? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to defend Labubu? You're trying to say Labubu is actually funny and cute? It's not funny and cute, man. That being said, Labubu, you want to pay us for a sponsorship? I'll change my mind. I'll change my mind, man, Labubu. You gotta have that good one. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, in case you can't tell, because y'all are either not watching the show but listening, or you're blind as a fucking bat. Number one, I have a puppy on the table. We have another puppy as a guest. We have Trinity, a puppy herself and mother to, well, what I know of is 7 plus 4. So what, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 puppies plus. And she's definitely had some, Trinity, talk to me right now. Talk to me, right? How does it feel to have been a parent and to have raised some kids, you know? Yeah? Ow! Mother lover. So Trinity, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? What do you think of this guy right here, Trin? Is he a good puppy? Is he a good puppy? Is he a good puppy, Trin? No? Look at you, how you're acting, buddy. You got Trinity like walking away, bud. Come on, you got our guest running away. There's nothing in my pocket, in my shirt for you, buddy. I don't have any bacon or anything. What the fuck are you doing? This is adorable. This is like when you're watching the Detroit Tigers play baseball and like a kitten runs up on the field at one time. Man, that's adorable. Or like when you're watching some like Australian footy and they have like a fucking little baby armadillo that runs on the field. You know, your breath does not make this thing feel any cooler, right? Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it is invading of the puppies. Ooh, you okay, bud? Oh my God, you okay, Trin? Hold up. You good, girl? Oh, you baby. Oh, you are such a fucking treat. Oh, you're adorable. Ow, ow, ow! That's my hair, asshole. That's my freaking hair, Dick. That was my hair. Ass. Ow, that's my nipple. This dog. You got problems. You know that. You got problems, brother. Hey, that's my ear. Hey. Ah. Son of a bitch.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry.
Yeah. Holy shit. A little bit of an interruption. Jesus Christ. Some kids never learn. You good, Trin? You good? It is so hot now because of that. I'm so hot right now. Holy hell. How'd it happen? But now we're feeling good. We're feeling good today. Now, another subject I wanted to kind of go over, right? Yeah. You want to see? You want to see the phone too? Here we go. So another subject that yes, here we are. Another subject that I wanted to go over. We did the Katy Perry, Simon Cowell, the Pope thing. Did the Kodak Black, Netflix. Oh, okay, so you want to talk about virality and shit, right? Do y'all remember when the original Squid Games came out, how popular it was? Am I the only one who feels like Squid Games 3 Season 3 has come out to the hype of a nothing burger? I can't be the only one that feels that way, right? Like, it was a flat-out nothing burger, friend. You know? And I just want to know, right? Is that calculated? Is that planned? Is that something that they wanted at the end of the day? Shit, I don't even know, really, right? Whew. I tell you, man, people try to argue that global warming isn't a thing, but man, you gotta look at the weather the past couple of weeks. You gotta look at that shit, man. 'Cause let me tell you something. That is a bold-faced fucking lie, man. I live in the north, man. We're supposed to be known for the cold temperatures. Why the fuck are we nearly hitting 100 degrees? Last night I checked, hot for us was like 78 to 85. If that. Oh, excuse me. Oof. Genuinely, that came up warm. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, God, there's a lot of topics here tonight that I have wrote down. Let's see here. Can we talk about the fact that Superman, right? Apparently there's like a bunch more bullshit going on with it. More scenes are getting cut. I just have to say this, right? I brought this up, I believe, in yesterday's stream, where they cut the scene of the villain punching Crypto, the dog, who's a super dog, who could shoot
Crimson
lasers.
Equine has just tipped $3. Hey, Airsoft Fatty, read one of my fanfics on fanfiction.net. It will make your testicles fall. And also check out my username, Crimson Equine on Fanfiction, and read a story from it. I am a brony and I have to say, ponies are the
A brony. Well, from the sounds of it, I'm gonna say nah. Because I ain't into that fandom exactly. I'm more into life in general, you know. I'm trying to get away from the cartoon stuff. I'm trying to live life more, touch more grass, you know. Well, I mean, this ain't grass, but it's grass, you know. That being said, I'm trying to live a bit healthier of life, and fan fictions are not as healthy as you'd expect. Damn. Ripped our support strap off for the mask on that side. And I gotta admit, the sound of the room, it sounds so different when you're shit storing like this. Because one ear's got like a perfect sound, like, room there, and the other's like, this is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I guess, let me ask the chat this for a moment, right? Let's say you were given the option, all right? You were given the option of 3 items, all right? Let me know what you choose. Number 1, a lightsaber of your design with unlimited amount of charge and the ability to use the Force. You will only be about as powerful as a young Jedi Knight when it comes to your ability to use the Force. Number 2, a magic wand. A magic wand from Harry Potter with, like, student level ability to use the Force. Right? You're not exactly potent, but you know, when it comes to most people, you're potent, right? Or number 3, the end of the first season of the first series of Ben 10's Omnitrix, where it has like something like 22, 23 aliens or something like that. But you don't have a 10-minute time limit. You, however, will have to wait 10 minutes before each transformation when you end up de-transforming and need to transform again. Okay? And we'll say that one doesn't explode, doesn't need charges. So tell me, what would you pick? Because I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm the kind of guy, you know, I like to break. Shit. I like to break. I like to break away from the norm. And so I would probably actually go the Omnitrix. And you wanna know why? Oh, my buddy's car broke down. I'll just transform into Upgrade. My hands are stuck. Shit. My hands are stuck. Hold up. The tape around my wrist. Now I gotta try to get this watch off that I keep forgetting to take off first. You know, I tried to break away, but all I did was make more problems for myself, right? I feel like that was a very common thing said a long, long time ago, and a time we want to forget. Kind of like Nintendo wanting to forget the backlash in the Nintendo Switch 2 release, huh? A lot of people still pissed about those price hikes. Jesus, don't kidnap me with duct tape now. You might actually get away with it. Oh shit, no, that hurts. There we go. Just gotta play it smart sometimes to give yourself some leverage. Wow. This has seen some days. Now let's put on a new shirt, a new day. Let's have ourselves a good one today. Here we go. Hey.
It's backwards. Inside out.
It's backwards. Well, hey, no one said I was the smartest man anyway. Hey, oh, let's see if it'll fit. Let's go. Hey, whoa, oh, oh, here we go. Here we gotta do it now. Let's go. All right. The arms fit a little strangely. Hold on. Oh, that's the Duff shirt. Okay. Let me see if I can get this bitch to button up. It might be a little small. Hold up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second here. Because I'm going to say it like this. Duff man needs you to know that tough is tasty as good. You know what I'm saying. Let me just... one more button right here. Throw on our watch, ladies and gentlemen, because you gotta have that drip. You gotta have that drip, drip. You gotta have that drop, drop. You need to be drippy, bro. Pull on that fucking gold. Got that silver in wristing. And then, of course, all we need now is my mask. For I'm one, the only one you will ever need. Believe me on that one. Trust in the heart of the cards. You know what I'm saying? It's like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. Now, another subject of mine I want to talk about here, right? I just want to talk about something in particular that I'm grateful for. Something that, to this day, I continue to appreciate the opportunity to do. And that's performing for you guys, especially live on stage, and putting out a bunch of energy for you guys. It's amazing, you know what I'm saying? It's positivity incarnate and in person. Let's go grab water real quick here. But, it's positivity in like a physical format that's amazing, right? I think if there's one kind of event that I would love to do one of these days, I think it would have to be like I don't know, I want to go to like a nice fucking car meet type event, right? And I'm talking one where they got a bunch of like silly races and shit going on, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Trinity. Look out, Trin. Please don't eat these props. These are not very edible props, even though they look like it. Trust me, Trin. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys didn't know, Trin's one of our beautiful studio dogs. Beautiful dog, by the way. Beautiful. She reminds me of like hot cocoa, you know what I'm saying? Now, just out of safety reasons, we're removing my jewels for this one, because let me tell you something. I ain't feeling too crabby today, but I will say this much. I got my claw on you. Nip, nip, whop, I'm on a crabby dude. Singing like I'm an ex-girl tonight. Trinity is having a fright, 'cause I'm a crab boy. And, woo, almost got backwards because of that. Trin, agree with me on something, okay? We gotta agree on something. Safety word is garlic butter. We don't use the hot boiling water. Don't bite me, okay? I'm not food. I'm not an actual crab. Here we go. There we go. She's such a good girl, guys. Look at this. She's such a good girl. Look at her. See, she's not attacking the... Yeah? Have the loogie in my face, huh? I don't see how that's deserved, but okay. I guess, every patron has a different feeling about the Bard's Song of the Night. You could have just been nicer about it. Asshole. Adorable asshole, but asshole nonetheless. But let's talk about food for a second, right? Who the fuck genuinely enjoys eating soy and like other vegan products? Who genuinely enjoys it? I get it, right? There's some people that force themselves because they feel some sort of obligation to animals, but if you had an obligation to animals, you just learn to eat trash like a raccoon. That way you're not stealing land from animals to grow your stupid food. You're not giving into the meat industry killing animals to be eaten. Nope, you're just eating trash that's thrown away that nobody wants. And it's just going to go into a landfill anyway. Ruin the environment. Do something good. I mean, you're already eating like trash anyway. I want to try to do something with these claws on. Hold on. First things first, I'm going to try to take a drink. I think I have it. I have never had a more piss poor grip on a cup of water in my life, and I'm terrified. Okay, that's done. Task number 2. Let's try to unlock my phone. Pick it up. All right. Just try to unlock my phone real quick. Hold up. Or this is so much harder than it looks. I feel so much worse for people who don't have arms or hands. Thank God I did it! Yes! Oh my God. Okay. Do I have... Yeah, you kind of have to use your, like, nose as like a finger, basically. We talked about the weird fucking father-son be-a-man camp. We touched on the Beavis and Butthead. We talked about how epic it's been putting on a good show. This is like so fucking weird to have to do. We talked about the Superman movie. We have talked about how much of a nothing burger season 3 of Fish Tank is, or not Fish Tank, but season 3 of Squid Games has been. The Jeffrey Epstein file. Here, I'm gonna drain this water so he doesn't spill any on the equipment. Okay. Talked about the Epstein list. Another kind of crazier, hey buddy. Well, another kind of crazier story that happened this week, right, is, well, they found a body in a Goodwill. Let me grab it real quick, hold up. Yeah, trying to work this is not easy with your gloves on. I need to quit clapping near that too. That being said, right, in, I believe it was Pasadena, California, they found a body in a Goodwill donation bin. You've got to be pretty fucking bad off that they won't even bury you in a cardboard box when you die and they just put you in the Goodwill bin. But in all seriousness, right, hopefully they figure out how that body got there, why it's there. Hopefully it's nothing, you know, it's hard, but that's the prayer, right? Is hopefully this was just some freak accident and there isn't some random killer who's just out there dumping bodies at Goodwills thinking someone else will just pick it up. That being said, I'm going to be honest for a second. Life is amazing. Life is gorgeous, right? And sometimes it can't be easy to find life's perfect meanings. And that's okay. You guys want to know something that I love doing at the end of the day when things have been crazy and I need a moment to breathe? Well, roar! That's what I like to do. That, and I enjoy a good film or two. You know what I'm saying? A good Godzilla film, a little bit of Transformers or something. It just helps recharge you. And something I did recently, right, and I think a lot of people should attempt to do, is watch through a full movie. Because when's the last time you turned on a film, took your phone, turned it off, put it aside, and just watched the movie, right? You didn't play something on your phone, you didn't message someone, you didn't post some sort of thirst trap, right? At one point, we all try to make ourselves look as good as possible to try to get as many likes as possible. It happens, right? But look, okay, look. I may just be a man in a crab suit talking about stuff like it's some year before 1999, But what I will say is this. The owl whoos for itself. It knows who is who. Just as you should know that too. Now, something that I would like to ask the chat is this. If you could have one food item in the world, prep it your own way, and then sell it in a restaurant as your own dish, what would you make? What would you call it? And how much would it be? Because for me, and this might sound like a fat boy's dream, because it sort of is. But imagine yourself a pizza where it's got turkey, mac and cheese on it. You got some hamburger meat. Maybe you've got some American cheese, mozzarella, maybe a little bacon. Stuff that cheesy crust up nice and full. Make her nearly burst. And that's all you gotta do. Now, I must ask you guys, holy shit, who the fuck out there is watching right now yawning? That shit's contagious. That shit's contagious through the airwaves, motherfucker. That shit's contagious through the airwaves. And you know it's another way to be contagious through the airwaves. Making your voice heard. Utilizing that TTS, which is only $1. You know, the link to which can be found in the chat. On YouTube, you can find it in the description. We're live currently on YouTube. And we're live on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Get the hair out my eyes. I'm gonna sing you guys a song about crabs real quick, alright? Do you remember the 21st night of Crab Samba, when we ate crab rangoons and cham chowder, and it was tasty as it is, 'cause we had sushi and chicken kebab and burgers, and it was going so fine until I had a large hair in my eye, singing claw life, living with the claw life. You know what I'm saying? Now, buddy, you came for a visit, buddy. He's a good doggy. Who's a good dog? You guys know that, did you guys know that 9 out of 10 doctors suggest that you guys utilize TTS? And, well, when you utilize TTS, you can suggest topics for us to talk about, right? Maybe I haven't talked about a certain subject you'd like to hear my words on. Just 1 second here. I'm trying to. There's a little bit of
Wet Fart has just tipped $3. You put any thought into the new nickname once Airsoft Fatty doesn't apply anymore?
Actually, yes, I have. And it's likely we're just going to stay being us. Because Airsoft Fatty is Airsoft Fatty. And I gotta quit pounding the table, I gotta quit clapping and stuff like that, because when I do it near the mic, it's loud for you motherfuckers, and it sucks when that happens to you guys, and I hate torturing you guys, and it's just kind of a nervous little tick thing that I do where I'll be like, I just gotta get good at it, right? That being said, to answer your question though, no, there's never been really any, I'm lying, right? There's been some thoughts about it, and of course some consideration, And there's been a lot of options I've considered over time. But currently considering, but it's not set in stone that we're going to do a name change. There's a lot that goes into something like that, right? You've got to consider you have to completely rebuild your reputation. You have to completely rebuild the name, right? Because you're not immediately going to be known for that. Someone who I feel like pulled it off relatively successfully. Why did the name just escape me? But he used to go by Scumbag. I've done so much content with him, too. Why am I such a fucking idiot sometimes? No, like, seriously, sometimes in the spur of the moment, right, I will forget names. No joke. It's not something I do intentionally. It's just kind of something that happens, right? What was it again? Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. It was Brad Padre. Brad Padre, man. Holy shit. Why? I have an autistic brain, and sometimes it's hard for me to remember names off the top of my head. But Brad, man, he's a good guy, by the way. If y'all are wondering if he's, a good guy in person and shit, like, he really is. He really is. He's actually kind of like a success story when it comes to changing your name. For those of you who didn't know, for a long time on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, he was known as Scumbag Dad. That's how I got to know him first, Love that content still. I still rewatch some of that stuff and laugh because it's just like, it's stupid fun. It's stupid fun, but it's solid brain rot, right? It's brain rot, but it's good brain rot. It's not shitty brain rot like tun hasur or whatever it is, What is it? It's tun hasur or tun hakur. Something like that. It's like some sort of living cigar. It's like an Italian fucking brain rot meme. Tun shakur. See, what the fuck does that even mean? You're trying to say tuck, 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 tuck? Tuck, 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 por favor? Because they have those little cars that are called tuk tuks. Have you guys ever ridden in a tuk tuk before? I've never been like outside the country, but there was a guy who had one back in the day. He used to raise like car shows. There was a little tuk tuk car. They're interesting vehicles to say the least. Most of them are powered by like motorcycle engines, which is nuts, because a lot of people will put like a whole fucking supermarket on them bitches. Whole supermarket, right? And then they'll just come riding down the road. Tun 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 shakor, tun 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 shakor. Tun 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 shakor. Tun tun tun. Flip 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 flip. Did you guys know, by the way, songs have multiple meanings, right? So, Arms Wide Open by Creed is a father that is welcoming their child into the world, their daughter. Home now, I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. That's a dude who's like actively about to take some Zoloft and take a nap. That is actually a guy's Zoloft letter, Who else? What other song has a couple of different meanings? There's that really popular Japanese song that people sing. It's from an anime. But people don't realize the actual words. It sounds all happy, but it's actually depressing as shit. There's a lot of songs that you guys hear from foreign languages, and y'all are like, oh, this is a fucking banger. Oh, this is so high energy and hype. And then you actually look it up, and you're like, oh, God. Do you need a hug? How about 5? And you know what? They just hold the hug until you are ready to walk away and feel healthy and fine with yourself. I'm telling you, man, songs have different meanings. The other day, we were fucking listening to, was it Yellow Submarine or was it fucking Brown Eyed Girl it was? It was a Beatles song or something like that. No, was it Beatles? No, it was something else, wasn't it? I think it was Beatles. No, it was Beatles, Brown Eyed Girl. I was right. It was on the right track. It was Beatles, Brown Eyed Girl. But if you reverse it, well, listen to it in reverse at some point, and you'll hear the message. I can't really repeat it. The CCTV gods, the censorship for this shit, will get mad if I directly said what it tells you to do if you play the song backwards. But there's a specific part of the song where if you play it backwards, it tells you to do some pretty fucked up shit. It'll tell you to go partake in the Jake Paul Special Forest video from a few years back. And you'd be considered a prop to him in that moment. So I'm looking at these claws, right? And these are like some really high quality latex claws, right? And I just gotta think, you know, the people that produce these, do they sit there in their factory, working the molds, thinking to themselves, you know, some fat, smelly dude in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, sitting in a studio that, you know, there's a bunch of shit going on, is gonna wear these for some stupid talk show or for some stupid Star Warsy video? Like, did they ever think that? Or did they think that this was just gonna be used for some sort of weird costume party? Because again, that's some high class rubber. That's high class, like a TTS coming in from you guys. Some high class shit right there. I'll tell you one thing, alright? Most people got the looks over me. But something they don't have, the claws. I got the claws. I'll smack you with the claws, too. Just like, I wonder. Man, I wonder. I actually want to see real quick. Now, before I do this right, ladies and gentlemen, do not try this at home, okay? But I do want to see, how would this feel, right? Let's see. We want to do it just sloppy, or we want to... Yeah, we'll do it sloppy. It's supposed to be funny here. Ready? Do a slap contest, bitch. Now you do better than that. Hold up. Come at it from this side, probably. It's hard because I don't have... It's like... You have the arc there, but I don't have an arc here, so it's just like... You gotta really... come at it. That was weak. Ah, okay. That one kind of did hurt. I don't know, it's hard. It's hard to get a good fucking slap in. It's not very tough material. It's very flaccid, you know? It's very flaccid, very not, you know... It's not slappy enough, you know? That being said, you know what's kind of fun that I've gotten into recently? I've gotten into, I've honest to God gotten into just watching people ride bikes on trails, right? Like, they got people that wear GoPros, and they ride on these dirt trails, right? And I watch this shit. And I watch it because there's a lot of crazy ones out there. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the 100 bike or something like that, 1,000 bike or whatever, down mountain challenge, right? It's like 1,000 people get together, they get on these bikes, and they just go down this fucking mountain. And it's a lot of, like, terrain changes. You know what I'm saying? That being said, the claw. I want to see... Speaking of claws and lobsters, I want to see if you guys know this song, alright? Ready? Turn the lights down in this place. Now, hey! Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? You feeling like a big dog? Ooh, hey, ooh, hey, he's feeling like a big dog. Aye, but in all seriousness, right? Let me ask you guys something, all right? Do you guys remember back in the day, back when music had soul, right? One of my favorite bands was, Straight No Chaser, right? I used to listen to a lot of acapella back in the day. And one of my favorite songs is The Man Who Can't Be Moved. But I've done that one a million times, right? We're trying to think of another song to do, right? So, another song that I absolutely enjoy is, and you might not know it. Right? Right? Everyone's a critic, right? Everyone's a freaking critic. But, okay. Yeah. Speaking of Creed, we're gonna sing some Creed for you guys. Ready? Well, I just heard the news today. Seems like my life is going to change. I'm going to take this hand and lead it by my side and take it on. 'Cause we created life with arms wide open under the sunlight. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything with arms wide open. And again, you know, right, if you guys listen closely, that literally is a father welcoming his daughter into the world. It's amazing, right? And then another song that I can kind of do that I still need to learn kind of the words to is, actually, you know, I'll do a song I haven't done in a long time, and one that, you know, it's a bit softer, but it's fun, you know? 'Cause there was a time where I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to call home. My only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he'd go away too. Then one night as I closed my eyes, I saw a shadow flying high, and he said to me with the sweetest smile, told me she wanted to go for a while, and she said, Patricia Pam, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. And ever since that day, I am a lost man in Neverland, usually hanging out with Patricia Pan. And the boy we were playing was always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, lost boys, they would say to me, away from all the reality. Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. And she sprinkled me in fairy dust and told me to believe in her and believe in me. You guys tired of this song yet? I bet you guys would prefer something a little bit better. You know, some, my mama told me when I was young, come sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say, and it'll help you on some bright sunny day, oh yeah. She said, don't rush too fast. Man, I fucked up. It's been a while since I've actually listened to this song. Some of you guys don't know is when I learn those songs, I will listen to those songs for hours straight. And usually it's like a year before I start listening to that song again. And I just haven't listened to Simple Man in a long time. Because that was one that like I listened to even in my sleep. And it drove me nuts. Absolutely nuts. But it will never, ever be as bad as the first time I did this. Because the first time was doing, I believe it was called 16 by Highly Suspect, or it's Strangely Suspect or whatever. They did that, and My Name's Human, whatever. When I learned that song, I drove from Cincinnati, Ohio to Battle Creek, Michigan. 2 different times, back and forth, listening to that song nonstop on fucking repeat. Screaming down the highway to practice. People are passing me in their cars, looking at me like I'm some crackhead, like, and I'm just sitting there just belching out, going fucking like 65, 70 on the highway. Wanted to fucking smack my head against the steering wheel at one point, because it just like, by hour 12, right? By hour fucking 12 of doing that, you're kind of just praying that your Bluetooth stops working. Or you hit a bump in the road and it knocks the fucking speaker system loose. So you don't gotta fucking hear it again. I will never do it like that again. Doing that long. Never again. I now when I do it, I put in breaks. I take a moment. Sometimes I change the song. That being said, let's change subject for a moment, right? Let's change subject again for a moment, right? I want to talk about nature, because nature is amazing, right? Nature is beautiful. And one of my favorite formations in nature, right? So one of my absolute favorite formations is rivers and waterways. There's just something that you have to respect and appreciate when a body of water moves in a way that crafts and cuts into and changes the landscape in a very meaningful way, right? And that's what happens. That's how a lot of mountain ranges are formed. If you didn't know, the Grand Canyon was formed through erosion caused by water flow, like a river. And it's just some really amazing stuff. And if you didn't know, like, rivers are one of your mainly safest spots to drink in the wild, right? If you want to get water, one of your safest spots to get water and filter from is going to be a moving river, a moving stream. And you kind of want to find where the stream kind of starts, right? You want to find that, because that's where it's going to be, like, the cleanest fucking stuff you can get, right? Another survival tip, right? Just don't put yourself in one of those stupid situations. Don't be a dumbass. Don't sit there and try to do some cave crawling thinking that you're an adventurer and squeeze yourself into a spot and, well, then you get stuck inside of a cave and, well, let's just face it, right? There's already a guy that's stuck in a cave called the Putty Disaster, right? The Putty Disaster. Oh, my gosh. If you think about it, right, that sounds like a fucking disaster for the Power Rangers franchise, right? There's the Putty Patroller disaster. Someone fucking fell down a hole and then a bunch of putties covered it and died there and they solidified in a putty over the hole, you know. That's what it sounds like. But, you know, I would hate to be the guy that gets trapped in the cave that sits just above, like, a fucking landfill or something. And then what ends up fucking causing the cave-in is like a fucking bulldozer pushing, I think, a trash above you. Just shook the ground just a little bit, just enough for it to just kind of... Because you got to think, right, that debris falling on you, that's not just rocks and dirt. That's shit, piss, dirty diapers, year-old food, probably some used condoms in there. Probably some needles. I mean, you might get lucky and you might find like a broken Louis Vuitton in there. Maybe you might even find a fucking intact bike tire. But I don't see how I fail to see how that's going to rescue you in the long run, right? Unless you can craft some sort of, like, axe out of that fucking tire. You ain't getting out of that shit. I mean, you really just aren't, you know? Woo! Feeling good today, feeling good. Let me ask you guys something here in chat for a second, okay? What do you guys think of the idea of creating a paintball anime? My question is, how have we not had an anime based on paintballing? Or an anime based on airsofting? Now, airsofting and paintball has been featured in anime, but how have we not had that yet? Like, how? That would be so easy to make. So simple. That'd be so much fucking fun. Hold up. I have a bit of a question, though. Does this balloon show up on camera because it's yellow? No, I don't think it does. I have a sneak peek at one of the viewfinders. Oh, you can see like a little bit of it? Like here, like the fucking base and a little bit of dirt that's on there. But if I like hold this a certain way, well, I guess no, there's always going to be like a bit of yellow there. Oh, wait. Oh my god, now you really can't tell that there's a fucking balloon in my arms right fucking here. What the fuck? That's so cool. Is there a green one in here? No. There's a white, there's a blue. Can the blue one do the same? There's blue screen, green screen, red screen, bean screen. No, blue one is just fine. But there really is a balloon right here. I'm clicking it, right? That being said, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try. See if I can get this hair to stand real quick, right? There's something you gotta do. I just forget. Is it working? I can't tell. I don't think it is. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, can you see my face? Can you see me? That is kind of cool though, right? You can kind of just, ooh, like kind of have to like really try to work the angle here. I am now a new head. I am City Boy, your new host with the most head thoughts in the world because I got the city's head space in here. Again, you guys really didn't see much of it, right? Hold up, this blue wall, there's white balloon. So again, in this hand there is a yellow balloon. It's actually appearing black right now on screen with the light on it. Wow, that's cool. When I have it in direct light, it's black. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of cool, you know? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That being said, we have some really weird shit, that being said, fuck that balloon. Well, not fuck it, but, you know. Fly away, my friend. That being said, hell yeah. That being said, I got a can in my pocket. I threw it at the claw. Using my hand with a Rolex watch and a ring to compliment it all. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. So how we feeling today, ladies and gentlemen? How we feeling today? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, TTS is active. It's only $1, and there's a link to be featured in multiple areas that you can find. Be it shared in chat or in the descriptions, no matter where you can find us. You can find us on Twitch, you can find us on YouTube. Pretty much anywhere you can find us, you can find us. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, you know? I want to try out one of my new impressions I've been trying to do relatively good, right? You know? And that's, I'm trying to do Big Bird. I'm trying to do Big Bird, you know? Big Bird. Tell me what you think about my Big Bird, chat. Use KTS, tell me how my Big Bird is. Elmo thinks that was a good Big Bird. But Big Bird doesn't think it's a big bird, you know? It's not a very good Big Bird. You know? Gotta think about, like, Big Bird. I don't know, my big bird, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Gilbert fucking Gottfried. You know, the man, the myth, the legend. And did you know this wasn't his real fucking voice? It's just the voice he put on for the parrot of Jafar. Well, I mean, he did it for a lot of characters because his voice became popular, you know. But, yeah, I know who I am. Jafar had a problem with me and my addiction to birdseed. Okay, let's be honest for a second, right? Gilbert Gottfried is the greatest voice of a generation. Being blunt with you, you know? He was the voice of a motherfucking parrot. He was also the voice of a lot of people that taught Hercules how to be a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Danny DeVito didn't have shit on Gilbert Gottfried. Bitch. That being said, I am Gilbert Gottfried's grandson. And I miss him so dearly. So very dearly. He actually based his TV voice off of my voice that I used to do for a D&D character. And his name was Senor Strongbottom. Because he was strong at kicking your ass. But now, it's Gilbert Gottfried's voice. Why? You know, sometimes, sometimes I enjoy a good bit of chocolate hot cocoa. If you want to know what my favorite hot cocoa ever is, it's got to be the Gordon's Food Supply hot cocoa or Swiss Miss mixed with some of the cocoa powder from Hershey's. It's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Okay, so I need to take a moment. Because I'm going to be honest, that voice takes a lot of energy out of you. Takes a lot to do. But I want to talk for a second, right, about collaborations, right? Because two things that you would have never expected to do collaborations recently. I've been doing some crazy collaborations. For starters, right, Magic the Gathering has been doing a lot of collabs lately, and I'm currently working on a Godzilla deck. That should be a fun deck to mess around with once I'm done with it. And then not only that, but Beyblading has had some collaborations lately. They just recently did a Jurassic World collaboration that they released, where they did a Spinosaurus Bay, Tyranno Bay, a Quetzalcoatl, and then a Mosasaur, right? I would like to get my hands on both those double packs because I want to make a dinosaur-themed Beyblade deck. I want to get those. I want to get the new Talon press. I want to get the new Tricera press. Or whatever they call the new pterodactyl one. And I still got to get my hands on Tyranno Beat. And once I have those, I'll have all the dinosaur bays currently available, then I'll plan to, I plan to make a dinosaur-themed deck out of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'll run Roar Tyranno. We'll probably run Quetzalcoatl, depending on how that blade looks. And then probably Tricera Press, because I heard that's pretty good, you know? Yeah! Okay, so, that being said, let's talk about the science of yawning, right? The science behind yawning is that apparently you're not getting as much air as you need, right? So one of you motherfuckers out there is failing to do your breathing exercises. Because yawning is very contagious. And one of you motherfuckers out there watching right now continues to fucking yawn and interrupts the show because then I have to fucking yawn. Why? Because we share the same internet airspace. Your yawn is affecting... You son of a bitch, you're doing it again! Fuck you! Fuck you to the guy who keeps yawning in chat. Fuck you. Interrupting our shit. Acting like you some fucking high and mighty type of motherfucker and you ain't nothing more than an asshole keeps intruding on my shit. Dickhead. Quit your yawning. Quit that bullshit. You ain't tired, motherfucker. You just yawning because you bullshitting, motherfucker. Part of me wants to grab that balloon again and see if it's still going to work. Or if it's, now it's just going to go black every time. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? This is like a new-aged, you know, is the dress black? Is the dress blue? Is it pink? Or whatever the fuck it is it golden? Oops. There's that microphone for a second there. Oh my god, these are two different shades of yellow, too. These are two different shades of yellow, too, if you can't tell. Oh, wait, this one only, like, partly gets picked up. Holy shit. So if I hold it, it only partially gets... That's so cool! Slap it around. Hold up. Wow, that one really fades in the background when you hold it by the city. That's pretty cool. Hold up. Does this work?
Has just tipped $4.99 through Super Chat. Harrier Soft Fitty. A hairdryer and a towel for the day is enough for a good workout and I don't need to worry about the weather.
Well, no, you need to work out. If you want a really good suggestion, a gallon milk jugs filled with water will help you out and give you a perfect weight to work with. That being said, it does seem that when this balloon is held back here and more lower, it does disappear. That is just so freaky deaky that, like, sorry, you guys just got slapped in the face with the balloon there. Just do it again. I'm gonna just try to. Just won't keep slapping you guys, you know? I find it crazy, so it seems like, you know, certain angles it'll do it, right? Or is it just disappearing with the desk? I can't fucking tell. But this one, for sure, it is yellow. It is bright fucking yellow, sunlight yellow, sunflower yellow. And yet, the green screen just picks it up. There's a yellow balloon right here. I'm looking dead at a yellow balloon. I wonder if I would help break up the... No, it won't show it really. It just shows there's a balloon. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the floating claw. I tried. Actually, hold up. Can I pull that off? Hold up. If I hold this balloon just right. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the force da 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 da. See, I'm using the force to hold the club. Da 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, woo! You want to know how this kind of thing works? You want to understand how a green screen works? All that shit. Well, look, I don't understand it fully, right? But I do have a basic understanding. And the idea is that light comes in wavelengths. And there's a visible light spectrum and an invisible light spectrum. Things like infrared without special tools are invisible to us. This color of yellow is currently being segregated by our computer program. And what that basically means is it has distinctly chosen, well, it's supposed to be the shade of green that's behind me, but because yellow is basically a child of green, it is a direct kiddo that is the straight up child of green itself. It is kind of picked up, but it's not fully picked up, which is why you get kind of that weird alignment. You know, it looks like a weird bubble almost that's in the air. But basically what's happening is it's taking that wavelength, that light wavelength, and it's imposing the image that we have onto it. And the thing is, yellow shares an extremely similar wavelength to green. And so this is what you get. And the parts that you can just barely make out are the hues that the camera just don't pick up because it's just not yellow or green enough. Facts with Fatty. That's what I'm saying, you know. That being said, I want to hide here and take a nap. I probably could. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Why the fuck would I do that, right? Especially when I have a magical balloon. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the force. I will use the force. Oh, I'm taking a risk here. Try to hold my phone up. We'll go back to the claw. I'm using the force. I'm using the force, Luke. I'm using the force. Huh? Oh, I'm gonna throw it. Ooh. I threw it at you guys. Hold up. I can make it a little better. Hold up. I hold it with one hand and do it. I'm using the force. Force throw. Ugh. Well, I threw it pretty badly, but you get the point. I'm sorry. I'm just oddly entertained by the fact that the science behind light and how a green screen works can produce such a crazy effect like this. Because on screen, this just looks like a green screen effect right here, you know? But to me, I'm holding a bright yellow fucking balloon. Like Best Buy yellow. You know what I'm saying? It's literally Best fucking Buy yellow. Why don't more anger management therapy classes use these? You can smack these into shit and it wouldn't hurt at all. Enough with the balloon, right? Enough with this, right? I've been distracted autistically enough. Fire! I tried to fire some green screen at you guys, but it didn't do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the future. You guys know what I want to see in the future, hopefully? And I mean this, by the way. I really do. I thoroughly mean this. Smell-o-vision. That's right, smell-o-vision. I want a TV screen where you can smell what the scene's like. You want to know why? Because a lot of you motherfuckers watch some of these scenes and are like, oh, that's so romantic. until you realize what that scene actually smells like in real life. And then you realize, oh, they're sitting there kissing in the middle of a fucking methane-filled swamp. It smells like fart. It's not going to smell exactly romantic. Unless you're one of those weird motherfuckers who's into fart and stuff like that. Then I guess, more power to you, I guess. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I can't talk right now. But if there is a subject that you guys want me to touch on, TTS is always an option, It's a beautiful option, too. It's a very good option. Allows you to basically make your voice verbally heard on the stream and, well, makes us have to address what you say. It's $1. Links in stream. You know what I'm saying? I think, there's a couple of more things I wanted to touch on, wasn't there? I'm trying to think here. Touched on a lot of the main topics I want to hit on. So I'm kind of like sitting here like, what do I need, man? What do I need? Oh, I did want to talk about different shows and shit that deserve like a remake or a revamp or a remaster, right? And I think a show that desperately deserves it, needs it, and I think Hasbro is being a fucking idiot, not doing anything with it. Metabots. Do you realize how big a Metabots line of toys would have been during the C20-1 times? 2019, 2020, 2021. That kind of sorry. I apologize, chat. I need to remember not to clap near the mic, bang on the mic, bang on the table. It happens, right? It happens. Anyhow, I feel that this is the kind of show that you could make an amazing toy line with, right? You could create an amazing toy line with Metabots. It's interchangeable parts, for fuck's sake. The animation's perfect. You just need to find the right guy to take up the Mr. Referee voice. That's the only character you need from the show now. Just give us Mr. Referee, the original Mr. Referee. For I am Mr. Referee, and I'm here for a row battle. You know what I'm talking about? It'd be amazing to see Metabee again, and Meta Knight and all that shit. Or Raikou show and shit. But look, guys, that show has been long done since, like, 2001. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see them take another crack at it, because they've not done another series or another attempt at it since the original here in the U.S. I know in Japan, there's, like, a fucking myriad of different Metabots things to look at, right? But here in the U.S., we don't have a whole lot. Like, Zoids has more than Metabots here in the U.S. Zoids, for fuck's sake. Fucking Zoids. By the way, who remembers Zoids, right? Who remembers Zoids? Growing up, I had the deluxe white Liger Zoid, and then I had a miniature of the Elephant Zoid and the fucking the T-Rex Zoids, right? Those were always so cool. And I think if I were to get into model kits again, I would have to either get into Gundams, Metabots, or Zoids. Like, Zoids are always fucking cool, man. I don't know, there's something cool about giant robot animals with guns and grenades and missile launchers. Abilities to fly. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't touch that remote. Don't double click on anything yet. Stay tuned. Because, my friends, let me tell you something. Unlike Metabots, where they never made a return, we'll be coming right back here in a moment. And, well, hopefully, we'll see you in a moment.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof.
Life, all of my successes depend on me. I'm the man who has the ball. I'm the man who can throw it faster than fuck. So that is why I am better than everyone in the world. Kiss my ass and suck my dick, everyone. You've reached the end of set number 3.
What?
I'm walking here. You're fucking out. I'm fucking in.
Walking? I play real sports. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising.
I'm Airsoft fucking Fatty, and I'm very upset with how I'm acting right now. Well, shit, man.
The store will be closing in 5 minutes.
You're listening to the audiobook, You're Fucking Out, I'm Fucking In, by Kenny Powers. Narrated by Kenny Powers.
A lot of people ask me, Kenny Powers, you're a giant star. You get any woman. Have you ever paid for sex? And the answer is yes, I have. Several times, in fact. And it's actually kind of cool. You can negotiate practically anything, and sometimes even just kind of do stuff in the moment that you never agreed to pay for, and it goes by without much argument. You want to know about relationships?
American made, 9mm reinforced glass, lifetime warranty, and I threw it off a goddamn bridge and it fucking bounced! Max speaker, 18-inch glass. Speaker. Yeah, Max 18-inch.
We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call.
Seconds. Ready? 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, We are here today to talk to you guys about one simple thing. One sweet thing. And you know what that is? Well, it's the simple fact that, winner take all. It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. We'll never sacrifice the will. And be on the attack when the wall's closing in. Don't be on defense from the waves from within. You just got to begin. 'Cause it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look. I'm happy to be back with you guys one more time. One more time. I'm glad to be back here with you guys one more time. So I want to talk about a new subject and something that we can physically hold, all right? So I love card games. I enjoy collecting cards, all right? I don't enjoy sports cards, right? I don't typically collect, like, football cards or basketball cards or baseball cards, right? I collect a lot of nerdier stuff, right? Some card game type cards. And, well, to start with, right, there is some decks of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and some Magic cards here that I have that, I haven't looked at in a good minute, right? One of these boxes contains some decks of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that we were going to use for a Yu-Gi-Oh series. We were going to work on a little bit of a lore series with Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's something I'm still kind of considering. There's some hurdles that we have to get through with it, for sure. One of those is getting actors for that series, and another thing is just kind of, in general, trying to script the duels.
With off 8 has just tipped $10 through Super Chat. Please stop and try a different song, please. Keep on being dope.
Keep on being dope.
Well, keep on being dope, brother. Thank you for that tenor. We're done singing for now. You don't gotta worry about me sounding like a dying cat, alright? Let's talk about... Let's talk about the fact that there's a lot to take away at the end of the day, right? Right? So this failed Yu-Gi-Oh series, right? That there's a lot to take away from that. And something I do want to talk about over time is, well, just like the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, the more you learn, the more you can do, right? And I made these... I made these decks back in the day for this series as just kind of a fun thing, you know? And, I'm sorry, guys. Holy shit. That being said, now that I've gotten that yawn out of the way, because again, a motherfucker out there is yawning in the middle of watching this. And again, that's contagious, motherfucker, even through the internet waves. Even through the internet waves. That shit's contagious. So let's consider what we've learned today, especially when it comes to what we're talking about here. One thing that we've learned is that when you yawn, it is contagious not through the people in your room, but through the radio signals, the internet signals, and phone signals that you give. So to the motherfucker that's still fucking, you motherfucker! Swear to God, I will find you and I will hug you. Quit the yawning. Quit it. It's contagious. And it sucks. So we've learned that yawns are very magical and they travel through radio waves, internet waves, and all that shit, right? Something else that we've kind of learned is that, well, we found out that Simon Cowell apparently enjoys Pokemon. And as a little side note here, right? When it comes to Simon Cowell, what do you think his, team is consistent of, right? What do you think his team is consistent of? I doubt it's cuddly shit. I'm thinking Steelix because it's ugly and just a rock. It sucks. Golem because it's just a fucking rock and it sucks. Honestly, I feel like Simon Cowell and Rock would just get along just fine. Just fucking fine. That being said, something else we learned too is that, well, the Fire Festival brand is apparently up for sale. And Netflix apparently wants to take on the burden of trying to save the Star Wars franchise. But do we really want Netflix owning Star Wars? Do we really? Yeah, totally. We totally want that. We totally want that. We totally fucking want that, right? We totally fucking want that. All right. But look. Let's talk about what we haven't learned yet, okay? Let's talk about some of the stuff that we haven't been able to figure out. And to start with, right, we haven't figured out the cure to diseases like super cancer and super chlamydia. We have yet to figure out the secret to stopping human aging. And you know what else is something we have yet to learn? We have yet to learn, well, quite simply, we have yet to learn if we are ever going to find the original film reel to the Star Wars Christmas special from George Lucas. If you don't know about it, it's nearly impossible to watch. Another thing I'd like to know, something else we haven't learned, is that film preservation is not as good as it should have been. And there are a lot of films that are lost media. And I'm beginning to wonder if there are people with personal collections from grandparents who passed away who have a film that's considered lost media just sitting there complete in a trunk. And maybe it's gone because they didn't store it right and the humidity fucked it up. And you know what's one more thing we didn't learn? That we got a message?
Ulstfu has just tipped 99 through Super Chat. Bro question. Do you consider yourself a Juggalo?
So, not really like a full-on type of Juggalo, right? But if I'm listening to music of people, I jam out with them. I do listen on occasion, but I would not consider myself a Juggalo. Yeah, Juggalos, these days I don't consider, I used to consider myself one, but these days I don't. A lot of crazy shit's been happening in the Juggalo community, you know? That being said, the last thing that we didn't learn that I kind of want to do before we move on is, if you didn't know, there's a secret about Yu-Gi-Oh cards that a lot of people don't know, is that the artists of these cards, they are never, ever credited. They're not allowed to be credited. Their contract makes it so they can't even claim credit for making a Yu-Gi-Oh card. No joke.
The Cat with Off 8 has just tipped $10 through Super Chat. Time to do 10 hammer lifts. Let's go. Do you like Edward Skeletrix?
Edward Skeletrix. I don't know who that is, sadly. But what I can say is this. The artist for some of your favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Will never, ever be given proper credit or love. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, production. We don't have our hammer with us, but we got these weights with us. Let's go. That being said, yeah, so a lot of your... A lot of your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards artists don't really get credited. I do believe that they get a very good rate for what they do, but 8, 9, 10, other hand, hold on one second here. Anyhow, so it kind of sucks because other places will go ahead and do it, and they'll credit these artists for what they do. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and baby, whew, we'll hold it here for now. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to get back to the house and hit that bike. We're just taking care of a lot of things, getting things set up for some very special stuff coming in the future, that's for sure. That being said, to our fans back home, we are about to do a little something that I want to start doing as a way to kind of help my brain develop a bit better and maybe help us out with memories. We're going to start reading 5 pages out of the book, and we're going to choose a random point and just kind of read it straight through. So we're going to be doing Star Wars today again. And this time, instead of doing 5 random pages, just random page each, we're just going to start at a random point and just start reading 5 pages. So without further ado, let's just find a random point, shall we? We're going to do 180. We'll start at 180. 5 pages starting at 180. Here we go. Try to hold the book right here. Crowd at the mention of the world, so callously obliterated. A station, Dodona, went on. It's heavily shielded and mounts more firepower than half the Imperial fleet. But its defenses were designed to fend off large-scale capital ship assaults. A small 1 or 2 man fighter should be able to slip through its defensive screens. A slim, supple man who resembled an older version of Han Solo rose. Dodona acknowledged his presence. What is it, Red Leader? The man gestured toward the display screen, which showed a computer portrait of the battle station. Pardon me asking, sir, but what good are our snub fighters going to do against that? Dodona considered well. The Empire doesn't think a one-man fighter is any threat to anything, except another small ship, like a TIE fighter. Or they would have provided tighter screens. Apparently, they're convinced that their defensive weaponry can fend off any light attacks. But an analysis of the plans provided by Princess Leia has revealed what we think is a weakness in the station's design. A big ship couldn't get near it, but an X or Y wing, a fighter, might. It's a small thermal exhaust port. Its size belies its importance, as it appears to be an unfinished shaft that runs directly into the main reactor system powering the station. Since this serves as an emergency outlet for waste heat in the event of a reactor overproduction, its usefulness would be eliminated by particle shielding. A direct hit would initiate a chain reaction that will destroy the station. Mutterings and disbelief ran through the room. The more inexperienced pilot, the greater his expressed disbelief. I didn't say your approach would be easy, Dodona admonished him. He gestured at the screen. You must maneuver straight in down this shaft, level off in the trench, skim the surface to this point. The target is only 2 meters across. We'll take a precise hit at exactly 90 degrees to reach that reactor systemization. And only a direct hit will start the complete reaction. I said the port wasn't particle shielded. However, it is completely ray shielded. It means no energy beams. You'll have to use proton torpedoes. A few of the pilots laughed humorously. One of them was a teenage fighter, jockey seated next to Luke, who bore the unlikely name of Wedge Antilles. R2-D2 was there also, seated next to another R2 unit who emitted a long whistle of hopelessness. A 2-meter target at maximum speed with a torpedo. Yet, Tilly snorted. It's impossible, even for the computer. But it's not impossible, protested Luke. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back at home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters. Is that so? The Rakashki uniformed youth noted diversively. Tell me when we're going after your particular vermin, were there 1,000 other, what'd you call it, womp rats, armed with power rifles, firing up at you? Shook his head sadly. With all that firepower in the station directed at us, this will take a little more than a barnyard marksmanship, believe me. As if to confirm Antilles' premonition, Dodona undecided in a string of lights, never changing the schematics take us. Sorry guys, give me a second, I gotta readjust my eyes. Take a special note of these emplacements. There's a heavy concentration of firepower on the industrial axis, was well as several dense circumpolar clusters. Also, their field generators probably create loud distortion, especially in and around the trench. I figure that the maneuverability in that sector will be less than 0.3. This produced more murmurs and a few groans from the assembly. Remember, General, went on, you must achieve a direct hit. Yellow Squadron will cover 4. Red on the first run. Green will cover blue on the second. Any questions? Muted buzz filled the room. One man stood, lean and handsome. Too much so. It seemed to be ready to throw away his life for something as abstract as a freedom. What if both runs fail? What happens after that? Cadona smiled tightly. There won't be any after that. Man nodded slowly, understandingly, sat down. Anyone else? Silence now. Pregnant with expectation. The man you ships, may the force be with you. Like oil draining from a shallow pot, the seated ranks of men and women, mechanics rose and flowed toward the exits. The elevators hummed busily, lifting more and more deadly shrapnels from the buried depths in the staging area. In the Premier Temple hangar, as Luke, 3PO, and R2-D2 walked toward the hangar entrance, neither the bustling flight crews nor the pilots performing final checkouts, nor the massive sparks, though office power couplings were disconnected, captured Luke's attention at the moment. Instead, it was held by the activity of two far more familiar figures. Solo and Chewbacca were loading a pile of small, strong boxes onto the armored land speeder. They were completely absorbed with this activity, ignoring the preparations going around them. Solo glanced up briefly at Luke and the robots and approached, then returned to his landing. Luke simply watched sadly, conflicting emotions careening and confusingly off one another into him. Solo was cocky, reckless, intolerant, and smug. He was also brave to a fault, instructive, and unfailingly cheery. The combination made for a confusing friend, but a friend nevertheless. You get your reward, Luke finally observed, indicating the boxes. Solo nodded once. And you're leaving then? That's right, kid. I've got some old debts to pay off, and even if I didn't, I don't think I'd be fool enough to stick around here. He eyed Luke appraisingly. You're pretty good in this craft, kid. Why don't you come with us? I could use you. The mercenary gleamed in Solo's eyes, only made Luke mad. Why don't you look around and see something besides yourself for a change, you know? You know what's going on? You know what's going to happen here? What they're up against? They could use a good pilot, but you're turning your back on them. Solo didn't appear upset at Luke's tirade. What good's a reward if you're not around to spend it? Attacking that battle station isn't my idea of courage. It's more like suicide. Yeah, well, take care of yourself, Han, Luke said quietly, turning to leave. But I guess that's what you're best at, isn't it? He said, as he started back into the hangar depths, flanked by two droids. Solo stared at him and hesitantly then called, Hey, Luke! May the Force be with you. Luke flew back to see Han Solo wink at him. He waved. Sort of. Then he was swallowed up by the moving mechanics and the machinery. Solo returned to his work, lifted a box, and stopped, to see Chewie gazing fixed at him. What are you staring at, gruesome? I know what I'm doing. Get back to work. Slowly, still eyeing his partner, the Wookiee, he returned to his task of loading the heavy crates. Sorrowful thoughts of Solo vanished when Luke saw the petite, slim figure standing by his ship. The ship had been granted. Are you sure this is what you want? Princess Leia asked him. It could be deadly. Could be a deadly reward. Luke's eyes were filled with sleek, venomous mental shape. More than anything. That's what's wrong. Here we go. Last page here. Ready? Trin's already passed out over here, and so is Cody underneath the table. Here we go. Final page for the night. Ready? Luke looked back at her and struggled. It's Han. Thought he'd change his mind. Thought he'd join us. Man must follow his own path, she told him. Sounding now like a senator. No one can choose it for him. Han Solo's priorities differ from ours, and I wish it were otherwise. But I can't find it in my heart to condemn them. She stood on tiptoes, gave him a quick, almost embarrassed kiss, and turned to go. May the Force be with you. Wow, they even kissed in the fucking book. Ain't that fucking nuts, ain't it? I only wish, Luke murmured to himself as he stared back at his ship. Ben, we're here. So intense was his thoughts on Kenobi that, so focused were his thoughts on Kenobi, the princess and Han. They didn't notice the larger figure, which had tightly locked on his arm. He turned, his initial anger gone instantly in astonishment as he recognized the figure. Luke, a slightly older man exclaimed. I don't believe it. How'd you get out here? Are you going out with us? Big as Luke, explained his friend warmly. Of course I'll be up there with you. His smile faded slightly. I haven't got a choice anymore. Then he brightened again. Listen, I've got some stories to tell you. The steady whooping and laughing the two made was in marked contrast to the solemnity in which the other men and women in the hangar went about their business. The commotion attracted the attention of the older, war-torn man known as the younger pilots as the Blue Leader. His face wrinkled with curiosity as he approached the two younger men. It was a face scorched by the same fire that flickered in his eyes, a blaze kindled not by revolutionary fever, but by years of living through and witnessing too much injustice. Behind that fatherly visage is a raging demon who fought to escape, and soon, very soon, he'd be free to let it loose. Now he was interested in these two young men. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our Favre. Oh, yeah, that's Favre right there. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Those are our Favre pages for the night, doing our mental exercises, getting our brains ready to be smart. Because we want to get smarter. You know what I'm saying? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, look. Y'all are absolutely beautiful, when you tune in. Your TTSs always help inspire us to keep going, and it's amazing, Plus, it helps support the channel in major ways. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight has been quite a crazy show. We learned a lot of things, right? We also didn't learn a lot of things. We also read a bunch of things and talked about a bunch of things, and well, I think there's a few more things I'd like to say tonight before, regardless of how much longer we go for, I want to make sure to say these, right? Because these are important things for me to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every last one of you who tunes in and shows your love and support. All of you who get the TTSs, who subscribe and who partake in chat. It helps inspire us a lot. It's one of the reasons we keep doing this, and well, we hope that you guys will keep tuning in, keep interacting, and still enjoying the show because, well, we plan to bring you a hell of a lot more, regardless, you know what I'm saying? That being said, keep an eye out for the next big scoop on a fish tank because you never know what news might come out about that. Hint, hint, wink, wink, There's one more thing I do want to touch base on, right? And something that I do want to remind you guys is that, if you're looking to put some good karma out in this world today, right? I would suggest maybe saying a prayer for the people of Texas. They're still kind of dealing with a lot of the flooding and a lot of the outcomes of these floods. A lot of homes have been completely overturned, lives destroyed, lives have been lost even. There's still a lot of people out there doing their best to rescue as many people as possible, and I just hope that you guys will take some time tonight to send out a prayer of hope for Texas, and hopefully if you can, take a little time to check out cftexas.org and check out the Kerr County website. There's lots of ways you can help out, and right now, they could really use the help. They're the state with the biggest heart, and right now, they could use a lot of love to fill that heart with. That being said, if it doesn't matter whether you're taking the time to call someone you love or you're, taking the extra couple of cents you got in your wallet and sending it to someone's way, just do what you can in this world to put good karma out there, because at the end of the day, when we're born into this world, there's already an influx of negative karma, and it's going to be up to us to put more of it out there, or we can be smart and put more good karma out there. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for showing your support over the years and tuning in. We got a lot more to come, trust me. Anyhow, without further ado, we got my little sleepy puppy here, Trinity. Well, our studio puppy, Trinity here, who's all sleepy, who's like, "You fat butt, it's late. Tired. Get off the fucking mic." I always imagine that she has a voice like, "You're gonna get off the mic now. You're gonna get off the mic now. You're getting too loud now. I'm trying to take a nap." Type stuff, And so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you take some time tonight, to really enjoy life, the simple things. And I hope that you rest up well, because you never know, you never know. That being said, peace out, much love, And when I see you guys next time, you already know it's going to be good vibes, good times, and, well, tons of laughs. Till then.